Welcome to Shadow of the Broker 124, the Dead Oasis. We are rolling Destiny at the moment. Do we have a GM assistant that would like to help me out there?
If anyone else goes for it, I'll do it.
Awesome.
I
Thank you,
think
Ben.
that's the case.
Yeah, so we'll start off as we like to do with character introductions. Tommy?
So I'm playing Ragesh Vi. He is a former Imperial spy, but now a loyal rebel.
Yeah. Ben?
I'm playing Bunker. He's a prototype Alliance combat droid whose previous caretaker is now deceased. And now he's just kind of in limbo, but still used in operations until they figure out what to do with him.
Yeah. Have the events in Arpol occurred? I'm
Yes.
assuming so, right? Okay.
So he does have 2 intellect, but no one else knows what else beyond that.
Okay. Okay. Nick.
I'm playing Nahat Hako, a Nemoidian who has dedicated his life to kind of fixing the image the galaxy has about Nemoidians being cowardly and deceiving, and he was just recently acquitted.
Acquitted of what? What did you do? What didn't you do?
Some varying crimes,
Okay.
some of fairly true nature, albeit evidence wasn't very good.
Still
He
acquitted.
did do it. He did it, but he got acquitted.
Okay, D.
I am playing Serenity, the broker's chief medical officer for this cell. She's a polished Masson, transported some time ago to the base.
Leslie?
I'm playing Lee. He's like the Dr. Doolittle. He's just got his animal companion, so he's digging that right now.
Dr. Doolittle with a rifle. And then George.
I am playing Delta Zero Charlie, also known as Doc. He is a former gank mercenary until tragedy struck.
Tragedy struck. Yeah. So Doc has been able to participate with the broker's agents a bit. You're on the mission on Hoth, right?
Correct.
So it's been a few weeks since Hoth, about a week since the events that led to several new members and a large outpouring of force sensitives. So it appears that this team right here has avoided that, actually. You guys are on board the Eclipse. You are sitting around in uncharted wild space, just sort of doing a bit of a circuit, just moving around. That's something that the broker and the rebellion has agreed, that this ship does not have a regular path, that it just moves around in wild space, both for the protection of the crew and the protection of the force sensitives.
Going boldly where no one has gone before.
This is very true. Maybe they've gone before, but no one knows if they've gone before. So they probably haven't gone before. Okay. So everyone, wherever you are on the ship, you are summoned to the bridge by Commander Jokin.
Resources?
Oh yes, that's important. Okay. Ooh, a 4. What is the 4?
Oh god, 4. 4 is that would be the fate of the rebel spy Doosan, who I guess was blew his cover for some reason back during the Prelemian Hall to create the distraction. And duty goes over.
Okay. Do I get to say that he died? Can I say that? No, I'm not going to.
It's up to. I don't know. You could if you want.
The GM who gets rolled gets to decide if he died or not. That's probably not going to play a role in this mission, but everyone, because it's a group obligation, everyone reduces their strain thresholds by 2. So that's how in the aftermath of Hoth, everyone's sort of thinking about all the losses along the ways, and the people that did know this Red Bull operative, he comes to mind as well. But just all the losses from Hoth and everyone else who has died along the way is just weighing on everyone.
Maybe we've got like a wall where people put photos or holovid clips or whatever of those who are missing. So he was just added to it.
Yeah. And then 69 for duty definitely rolls over. So, since we just had it trigger. Okay.
And we do have a force sensitive, so.
Oh yeah, Lee. Okay. I forget sometimes that Lee is force sensitive. I think that does trigger your morality, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's 76, so it's closer to him.
Okay. So, can you describe Lee's morality?
It's basically he's goal oriented. So whatever the mission is or whatever his goal is, he wants to complete it. But at the same time, he can be very ruthless in completing that. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so everyone receives a summons to the bridge. There is a message that something interesting has appeared on the scanners, the long-range scanners.
Serenity will pipe up with her mechanical voice. Any prefix, Imperial or not?
No, nothing of concern that we can tell at the moment.
How large is it?
It is fairly large, at least as big as the Eclipse. So as everyone comes aboard, Jokin says, goes ahead and puts the image of this vessel you can see here on the screen. And the comm officer pipes up that we are conducting scans at the moment. It appears to not have a hyperdrive.
That's interesting. Serenity pipes up with her mechanical voice.
Something all the way out here without a hyperdrive?
It could be a sleeper ship from the pre-hyperdrive days.
Shall I ready weapons, sir?
They might need medical attention more than a gun to the face.
Bunker's new words, exterminate.
Initial scans don't indicate any weapons on their end at all, really. Certainly nothing that would be a threat to the Eclipse, even to a fighter.
Will we be able to do a knowledge check? I guess it would be maybe education on vessels from the pre-hyperdrive era.
You can also ask questions of the person conducting the scan and see what you get.
Okay. So, obvious question is any life signs? However,
yes, it's kind of interesting actually. My usually modern shielding prevents some of these types of scans that I'm conducting, but I'm actually going straight through the thing. I'm seeing over 3,000 life signs.
Oh, wow. Species?
Oh no, I can't read anything like that.
You tell how fast they can travel?
It seems to have some sort of engines, but they're cold. It is moving though. Just, I'm not sure we would even consider it moving based on what our ships can do. It seems to just be under. Well, actually, you see her, the comm officer type away. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be on a route, probably a gravity slingshot. Very, very simplistic ballistics, really.
Similar to a railgun.
Well, no. Usually you want to go to if you're doing a gravity slingshot, you're moving around a gravity well to gather speed and then launch forward.
Can we extrapolate
yes,
where their
yes.
or possible targets of their trajectory?
Yes, actually. Is anyone more mathematically inclined? Would they be able to help with this?
I mean, maybe Serenity. I mean, what are
Yeah, Serenity's got 4 intellect. Let's have a look, see anything in computers. Nope, she's
It
got
would be
no-
astrogation.
Oh, well, she can lend 4 intellect to the sensor guy.
Okay.
so? We've got Pippa in the hangar bay. Can we use her?
You're asking me to fly a ship out just to do this scan?
No, she wouldn't have to fly out. She would just have to input the data.
Yeah. Sure, you can call Pippa and ask route some of the data through her. So yeah, with a destiny flip. No, that's. Yeah. So Pippa gives you 3 ranks in astrogation, right? Or is it 2?
And the Destiny flip is totally fair because I mean we're saying that she's definitely in the hangar instead of the Sunflare off on some scouting thing or another.
Mm-hmm.
She gives 4 ranks actually.
Yeah. Okay, so Serenity's going to be able to roll 4 yellow against an average astrogation check.
Oh, nice.
Okay, here we go.
Interesting.
How's
Okay.
that?
Okay. You can pinpoint the planet of origin, and actually you can see the exact track that this ship has taken, and it comes to mind that it is going between 2 solar systems. It looks like they're probably close. I mean, they are extremely close compared to what you're used to, being able to just hop around the galaxy. This vessel, not having a hyperdrive, it looks like they're going for another planet in a Goldilocks zone, so a habitable zone of a star. That being a zone where there was a high probability of life already aboard on that planet, or at least the possibility.
Would we be in range to launch some probes towards the intended planet of their planetfall?
The planetfall? Yeah, you would be able to send some hyperspace probes. It would take probably 3 hours to get there from where you are. You could get some data on the planet that they're intended to go to, definitely.
And their planet of origin, do we have a name?
No, this is uncharted wild space.
Ah, okay.
Have we tried contacting them, or are they not able to?
It looks like our long-range tight beams can't really interact with their communication systems. Maybe if we get closer, though.
Have we tried maybe a more simplistic form of communication? Maybe Morse code or lights?
Smoke signals?
Well, based on we're on long-distance scanners right now. Based on the age of this ship, I'm not sure they're aware we're even here at the moment, even without the stealth on.
Right. Also, just in case, because this is wild space, and with everything that we've been through, we should probably keep the Eclipse safe. We should probably get in the Sunflare and use that to get closer instead of the Eclipse.
Agreed.
Yes, agreed.
Is there any markings or maybe like a tag that gives it a name or something like that?
No, not really from what you can tell. The comm officer does comment that it's interesting that it's built out of an asteroid. And then she thinks again about the shielding. If they don't have modern shielding to protect from radiation, perhaps they've hollowed out this asteroid to provide that sort of shielding. And she does say that something appears to be rotating inside of it.
possibly a rotating section for gravity, make it more easier to do normal things.
That's exactly my thought, Serenity.
So Lee would ask also, do they see like any other small crafts inside this? Yeah.
We're at extreme range, so there's no way we'd be able to pick that up.
Well, I mean, so you've got long range scanners on the Eclipse. So what the Eclipse is able to pick up is that there does seem to be areas where there could be something like a landing bay, but there doesn't seem to be. There's definitely nothing flying around the ship or anything like that. In fact, you get some scans of what would be maybe like airlocks that go to the surface.
This has definitely piqued my curiosity. What do you think, Ragesh?
Well, let's head on over with the Sunflare and see what we can find out. I mean, if it's
Yes.
if you say it's a sleeper ship, or if we think it's a sleeper ship, then it's probable that there's no one actually conscious at the moment to interact with.
Exactly. If it's okay with you guys, I would also like a couple of sensor officers to accompany us, just to take closer readings while we are...
Oh, I would say, I mean, that's a good idea, but we should establish how safe this place is before we risk any lives from the Eclipse.
Well, all I am suggesting is that they actually stay on the ship. They stay on board the Sunflare.
Well, we can always just have Pippa run diagnostics.
Yeah, and we can't really. It's not fair to risk people's lives unnecessarily.
Then I will be firing up some medical protocols, since we have no idea where. Sorry, protocol section 121, section C. Nothing shall be brought or taken aboard any of our ships until danger of contamination has been eliminated. So I would say that we go in there, investigate in sealed suits.
Sounds prudent.
Yes, and everyone would have access to a sealed suit. Bunker, of course, doesn't really need one for most protocols. So you'll probably have to give him a wash if you want to deal with consider contamination.
Lee would like to try to meditate and do a force.
You want to do a 4C check?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead and roll that.
So, he's been working with Saber and all that kind of stuff. So I would like to add, some kind of difficulty, just because.
Oh, so a discipline check to go with that?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's go ahead and make that 2 red.
And we're going to be using discipline?
Discipline, yes.
Alright, here's Lee trying to meditate to do force.
Okay. So, how much of the power can you activate with that? Leslie?
Oops, I was talking. He just has the basic power.
Basic power.
Yeah.
You feel yourself pulled into fragments of the future. Before you see a humanoid figure, greenish skin, but the details are kind of blurred. It feels like there's a computer static around this person who's talking to you. Your vision shifts and you feel in a very open space. It's comforting in a way. It feels like being in a wide open field, and you hear a strange sound in the distance that seems to go closer and closer. And then you get a strong sense of sadness.
Okay, yeah, after he gets finished with that, he's just going to look at who's this? Nick's characters.
Nahat?
Nahat? Yeah, Nahat, and see if, because Nahat is kind of greenish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna look at Nahat and see if it's any resemblance of what he just saw.
Well, no. That's not the person you were seeing. You think on it a bit and you're like, no, it's not Nahat. So as the sun flare moves closer, you actually see a light begin to activate on the edge of one of the antennas here, and you receive a transmission via broadcast, not a tight beam transmission that you're more used to. This broadcast technology is pretty archaic, and you see you get a slow stream of data packets.
So to decipher this, I'm assuming it would be a computer check of some sort?
Yes, or knowledge education.
Okay.
Anyone wanting to do that?
I have 3 intellect, so there's probably someone more suited.
Yeah, it looks like for the knowledge checks, Serenity is going to be our go-to.
Yeah, okay, so
And Doc has 4 intellect as well, but no ranks in any of those skills.
okay, looks like it's Serenity then.
So, education or computers, average.
Education, definitely. This is going to be important, so I am going to flip.
Ragesh will add an unskilled boost unless anyone can do skilled assistance.
Okay, I'm going to roll then.
Well done.
Okay. So the transmission starts off, and you recognize quickly that it's some sort of mathematical notation. And as the data continues to stream in, you see it growing more and more complex. And then you see it start to relate to different sounds, and you realize very quickly it's a translation algorithm. It looks like the vessel is trying to give you
Their language codes.
exactly,
Cool.
and it doesn't appear to be anything that's recognized in the standard galactic database.
Okay, before we actually run it through, we're going to see if we can put it through a oh god, what's it? What do they call it? A virus screen.
Based on the type of data you're receiving, a virus that was designed by these people would have no effect on your computing technology.
Okay, then yeah, she'll just install it and wait for the translation.
Yes, and with that installed, it seems there is a signal that comes through. The ship seems to be hailing you.
I've answered.
Okay, so a voice comes through. Greetings. This is the Uvan. We are proud to be the first of our people to confirm that the galaxy is not empty of intelligent life. This is a generation ship, sent forth to find a habitable planet in the closest solar system to our home planet. Our resources, however, are below the capacity to fulfill our mission. Even if air, water, and biomass recyclers maintain maximum output, we are not likely to make our destination. This is a plea. We understand any hesitancy to share more advanced technology, but we ask for whatever aid you're willing to provide.
Is this on a loop?
No.
Nahat would say, we would be more than happy to render you aid. Perhaps we can speak about it in person.
Yes, we would welcome that. There are various airlocks. They're in certain states of disrepair, but I believe there's one that may be functioning well enough for you to access it. You receive a sort of ping from the surface, just indicating a location on the surface, and it confirms with some of the scans earlier that you did locate that. I will send some emissaries to meet you there.
Another question: How long has this vessel been in service, and what generation are you?
I am the administrator of this vessel. We have been on this mission for 162 cycles.
And what's your average lifespan?
I'm afraid I don't understand the question.
How long does your species live before you expire biological processes?
There seems to be a pause from that, approximately 60 cycles.
Lee would kind of look at Rogesh and ask him, "Do you think they're telling the truth?"
Ragesh kind of shrugs. He's really good at lying. He's not so great at telling the truth from other people. Another question though, so were you born on this vessel?
Yes.
Okay. And
Can I see if he's lying?
Oh,
sorry.
What's that?
Yeah, 3 reds.
Okay.
Or do you want me to roll that actively?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll your discipline against 3 reds.
Okay. I don't know if Ragesh has a higher discipline.
No.
But okay, I have 2 yellow, so.
Lee can help since he has 4 willpower, so.
Okay. And you know what? I'll flip. Just because if they're lying, it kind of changes how you approach the.
You get the sense that there's a loose interpretation of the word born.
Serenity will ask, are you methane breathers or oxygen breathers?
There's a short pause, and data is sent over of the composition of the air inside of the rotating cylinder, and it appears breathable by oxygen breathers.
Okay, that's good. Shall we make a move, gentlemen?
Well, Ragesh is still going to want to ask the administrator. You most likely had calculations on how much you needed to make it to your destination. What happened? Why were the supplies not enough? Was there any sort of problem? on your vessel that cause a shortage of supplies?
Yes, there have been interruptions.
From
Various internal divisions.
Ah,
yeah, that's Ragesh kind of just gives everyone a look like, yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering. So, but he doesn't say that over the comm link.
Your mic is warbling a little bit, Tommy.
Ah, that's just great. Yeah, my internet might just like cut out unexpectedly. So, oh well. It sounds like this is going to be one of those things that we'll basically just have to be down there to get more information. He doesn't seem very forthcoming over
Yeah.
the comms, which is understandable. I mean, it's first contact with these people, so they're not going to tell us everything.
yeah.
Okay.
Before.
Oh, I do
if I-
know one thing though. So do we have a look at what these creatures look like now?
It looks like the communication via voice, so far. It doesn't look like there's been any visual transmissions.
Can I propose an exchange? Just so that you're not... we come from a civilization with very many different species, and just so that none of you are alarmed, we will transmit visual of us if you can also do the same. So what Ragesh wants to do though is that once he sees what they look like, as much as possible, he'll try to make himself look like something that is not so much close to them, but maybe same skin color, something, just to put them more at ease in social checks, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yes, the administrator accepts this proposal, and seems very interested in the fact that you have multiple species, and then transmits what looks like sort of like medical analysis data of the species. It's humanoid, green skin. Looks like there are, let's see, pronounced facial ridges. Just looking at them, that doesn't appear that there are. It doesn't appear to be any galactic species that is known. It looks like there are two genders for the species biologically. So.
All right, so yeah, I mean, Ragesh will he'll go with the Mirialan disguise, and he'll make the shade of green as close as possible to what these guys have.
Yeah, it's sort of a lighter green. So, okay. So as you guys are in the sun flare maneuvering towards the generation machine.
We
Go ahead.
go. Do we need to take that formula that they sent us in order to communicate with them further while we're there, or was that just for the computers to communicate?
Pippa makes the recommendation that your earpieces be installed with the translation software.
Okay.
Great attention to detail, by the way.
Could Serenity will take off her voice box thing, and she will telepathically speak to everyone apart from Bunker. Sorry, Bunker. Actually, no, she'll put it back on, and she will say, "Could anyone actually upload the translation into my voice box, and that way I could speak directly without them having to understand our words?"
Sure.
Yeah, Pippa beeps and says, "Yes, that's within my purview. I can do that."
Okay, she'll then take off her voice box and put it where Pippa indicated.
Please plug in the USB connection.
And she'll do.
Sinking now. So yeah, you get that set up. It does look like the to get to the airlock there will be a spacewalk.
Before the spacewalk, Serenity will telepathically send out. We are going to give each and every one of us broad spectrum antibiotics in case of any sort of contagion on board that vessel. Just in case, as a precaution.
Okay.
Bunker would tap Ragesh on the shoulder because he's the ranking officer in the group right now. Sir, how do you suggest I equip myself?
Actually, Ragesh is kind of taken aback because he's like, "Oh, that's right, bunker, dangerous, very dangerous." Set your weapons to stun, please, as the default.
Bunker full picks up his heavy repeating blaster. There is no stun setting, sir.
Oh gosh, heavy repeating blaster.
We come in peace, shoot to kill.
Yeah, Ragesh would actually suggest that you not bring the heavy repeating blaster. That could look pretty scary. If it's a part of bunker, then
it's not.
Oh, okay. I mean, obviously, meta-wise, sure, I'd love you to bring it, but character-wise, yeah, Ragesh would say no. Let's leave the heavy weapons behind for now.
Affirmative, sir, but I would be cautious. Desperation is rarely humble.
Do you have any weapons that can switch between stun and lethal?
I mean, yeah, Bunker, the integrated blaster is both stun and lethal modes, and he takes his grenade launcher and kind of unfolds the rotary canister. I also have non-lethal options in various grenades.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Usually whenever you're docking with another ship or a station, you're really moving into a stationary field. So there is going to be a piloting check to land on the surface of the planet.
All right. I think that
the asteroid, the generation ship.
Yeah, Ragesh can do this one. 2 yellows and 3 greens.
Well, what was the difficulty?
It's going to be hard with 2 setbacks.
Can a pilot check be done? Co-piloted check be done?
Oh, there's no upgrades. So.
There's no upgrades, yeah. You can still provide an unskilled boost instead.
Okay.
So you said that was average with 2 setbacks?
Hard with 2 setbacks.
Hard with 2 setbacks, okay. Alright, let's see. Oof.
Okay. So, Ragesh, although not a expert pilot, is able to make sure that the Sunflare doesn't get any scratches as you make the surface of this, and you're not too far away from the actual airlock.
All right. Yeah, I'll get my suit on and get ready to head out.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, though, so you had mentioned that we got medical data, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, actually, as we're flying there, sorry if this is a little bit of a retcon, but I definitely would like to make sure that we scan the medical data in terms of not just what from them can harm us, but if there's anything from us that can harm them.
Yeah, I mean, so Serenity would be probably the one that can best analyze this.
Yeah.
And Doc can help.
And so there's, you generally, probably what happens is that you do sort of a sensitivity analysis on basic, known pathogens versus whatever, alien body that you're looking at. You can see that the antibodies that they have, there are some diseases that are known and across the galaxy that would be probably quite effective to them. But as far as the medical records that you have on the staff, none of the people of this crew is currently exhibiting anything contagious that would be of risk.
Okay.
No one's passively carrying smallpox or anything. So, space pox.
Has anybody had any coughs recently? Dry throat, runny nose, passing blood, etc., etc.
I don't think so. Everyone seems pretty healthy. Yeah, that doesn't it doesn't strike you as a worry.
Okay. Since I've already given these guys a broad spectrum antibiotics, except for Bunker, who doesn't need antibiotics.
He may want them though. You never asked him.
Would you like some robotic style antibiotics, Bunker?
Robotic style?
Yes, it's similar to Gangnam style.
So, you guys get into your suits, and it's a short spacewalk to what appears to be an operating airlock. You're able to open this side. You see that, of course, the other side is locked. Everyone gets in, and it begins to cycle. And then suddenly the power cuts out.
Oh, wow.
Serenity will turn on her bodysuit light, which is built in.
About a second later, a red light flashes. It appears to be indicating that there is some sort of malfunction.
So I get on the comm and just say, Administrator, is there a problem?
I don't know. Does the administrator? You integrated your comms to do shortwave, radio wave broadcasts?
Oh, that's a good point. I would say sure.
Where's that destiny flip?
There we go.
It appears that the state of disrepair of that airlock was also. It seems like that airlock was also in a more serious state of repair than I was aware of. We do not have the ability to repair it at this time. Perhaps if you could handle that?
Okay.
Bunker would look at the group. If the airlock merely needs to cycle, I can power it temporarily. And he kind of like opens a panel and like jacks out this like retracting cord that comes out of him. He technically has like the N57 armor, which has like this integrated power thing in it, so it can actually power objects for as long as he's plugged into it.
Hey.
We just have to make sure we can like adapt it to work, I guess. But still,
yeah,
it's power generation.
Yeah, that seems to be something that would be easier than having to just repair it without that.
So mechanics check to integrate it?
Yes. So due to the state of disrepair, there are 3 setbacks on this check. But with Bunker as a power supply, instead of depending upon their own, it's going to be an average mechanics check.
Okay. I've got 4 skill in mechanics. I could blend it with, let's say Doc, because you're a cyborg, like Ragesh actually. And you've got 4 intellect, correct?
Correct.
All right, cool. So 4 yellows, and you said that was average with how many setbacks?
3.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah, just from the state of disrepair.
All right. Well, here goes. Ooh!
Ooh. Narrowest. So Ragesh has to work at this quite a bit. you get the sense that this is something you probably have had to read the manual for how an airlock works before, but actually working with it, especially an ancient one in your perspective, is it's really annoying more than
Yeah.
anything else.
It's like trying to like, you know, work on a Commodore 64 or something. Like,
Yeah.
what is this?
But eventually you get the power
This
flowing. You see everything restored. The red light goes off and the lights turn back on, and you can hear the sound of it cycling again. You can your scanners indicate that the pressure and oxygen levels are rising, and it cycles completely.
Cool.
Good. Maybe now we can make a proper first contact.
So, as the airlock opens, you see two figures. One appears to be male of the species, based on the data you received earlier. They seem a little stockier compared to the images that you had been provided. And the other is a female. You are entering an area with 0G. But they greet you. They do a sort of flared bow. You can probably guess that this is a greeting in their species. Can I get a D100 from everyone except Bunker? It appears that they both move in for a greeting. Everyone, like a handshake of some sort. Everyone except Doc can make me a perception check that is 3 red, 1 purple. I'll actually make that 4 red for everyone. So everyone but Doc needs to make this. Doc, you feel something placed into your hand.
Can I subtly look at it?
Yeah, it looks like there's a piece of parchment.
I'm assuming with writing on it?
You'd have to unfold it to be sure.
Okay, I'll just kind of keep it in the palm of my hand for now.
Okay. And it doesn't look like anyone else notices this happen. However, Bunker, what are you looking at?
He's looking out for threats. He doesn't necessarily think that as people who are desperate are necessarily going to like want to be friends. He's just kind of like ready just in case anyone attacks. So he doesn't really keep much of an eye on the diplomatic proceedings and more on for weapons or anything like that.
Bunker starts analyzing their facial ridges and thinking about how effective a headbutt would be from these guys. And sort of gets distracted by that analysis. Ragesh, you don't notice what's happening with Doc, but...
Oh, can I actually... I've got an idea for the double triumphs to use both.
Yes.
So my idea is that with the whole Mirialan disguise and the skin tone and how the Mirialans have those little facial markings and things, what if Ragesh actually looks like exotically beautiful to the species? Even without the facial ridges, it's like this kind of ethereal beauty. Like maybe they have legends of, beings that look like this or something. But just, he looks really attractive to the species in a weird way.
Yes. You see that the female guide is especially distracted by you, and it's the male guide that had handed off the piece of paper to Doc, by the way. So she seems to be focused on you, giving you, she's greeting, she's saying, how wonderful it is that you've come to see us. Please tell me of your species. And she actually raises a hand to your face, actually. May I touch your face?
If I may touch yours. So at that, Ragesh says, Captain Mahir Unduli of the Wayfarer. My species is Mirialan, And as you can see, we hail from a civilization with many different species, and including artificial intelligence, and I nod over at Bunker. But don't worry, he is completely safe.
How do you mean safe?
Oh, completely under our control.
He means I will not kill you.
Oh, I see. So, do your Miriarlans lead all of these species?
No, it's a coalition.
And your species are all united together?
And actually, I mean, Ragesh,
Aside from
he
the
doesn't
dreaded
wanna-
Empire, yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, Naha will actually chuckle at that.
The dreaded Empire?
So we have some internal divisions, and there is actually a bit of a civil war going on at the moment. With unfortunately, not all of our species get along that well. The dominant species of this civilization is known as human, and while many humans are quite good, there is a large contingent of them that espouses human supremacy.
I see.
No humans here.
And but you are a captain of a great vessel?
Yes. Well, I'm only going to talk about the sun flare, so I'm not saying anything about the eclipse. Just meta for the other people. But yes, our vessel, which docked with yours, the Wayfarer. We are a scout ship that travels throughout what we call wild space for new and exciting phenomena.
Yeah.
Nothing can eclipse what we found today.
Doc, as they're talking, you're noticing that no one's paying attention to you at all.
And that would be the moment I would look at the piece of parchment.
Yeah, there appears to be some sort of writing on it, but given the translation protocol you were given, there was nothing about a written language that was supplied.
Could we scan it and send a copy of that to Pips?
Yeah, you'd be able to do that. Pippa comes back over your private comms and says that I assume this was just directly to her, right? No one else in the group.
Yes.
Pippa says that there needs to be more examples to understand. We need to understand the relation of the markings to the actual language itself.
Okay, and then Doc will take from now on just kind of always looking around for this writing and just kind of scan it a bit.
Yes, and so you can see like above the airlock there seems to be something similar to these markings. You can probably guess this is the word for airlock in their language, and you just start gathering pieces of the information as you move forward. What are we interested in for Lee's triumph on the perception check that failed?
Maybe a hint to something or something like that. I don't know.
I have a suggestion. Maybe Lee notices that Doc is looking around more and starting to scan, the words around the ship.
Okay, I can go for that. So I guess you're probably be in the back. Lee would kind of just, he's not really a talker anyway, so he would kind of maybe come over towards you and kind of see what's up.
Doc in a hushed voice says, they handed me a paper, so antiquated. It has what I believe is their writing. I am trying to scan more forms of their writing to send it to Pippa.
He'd be like, well, who gave it to you?
The mail.
Okay. Hey, I'll see what I can do. See if I can help you in this endeavor.
Serenity, can I get a average medicine check with 2 setbacks?
Yep, no problem at all.
They appear to be healthy, but you do notice a foreign body at the back of their scalp.
Okay. Okay, she'll say, obviously in their language,
Are you sure you want to call attention to that right now?
Yeah.
no, but she can't. Yeah, she'll get close to Ragesh and will whisper this to him.
Remember, you can communicate telepathically.
Yes, yes, yeah. That's what it's called. Whisper.
Mind whispers, as
So-
creepy as that is.
Yeah, Ragesh just looks like he's chatting with the female, but he kind of gives a little side nod to let Serenity know that he did hear what she's saying.
Can I ask the aliens like how their like government is structured?
The administrator organizes everything.
And how is he just the administrator? Like, how did he get that position?
Well, she has always been the administrator.
Always?
Yes. She is the mission administrator.
And what are your titles?
Well, we've been in her good graces and are privileged to meet you out here. But we are farmers. And so this conversation is probably, you actually guys have been moving away from the airlock as you've been doing this. It's been a bit of a long walk actually, as you're just going deeper into the asteroid. And you eventually come upon a hatch, and the female guide says that this is where we access the biocylinder. It should only be a few minutes before where it hooks up to where we can enter. Any questions before we go in?
As we're walking through, Bunker's gonna kind of passively scan just to construct in his brain, quote unquote, a rough map of where we've gone and where things are.
Good idea.
Yeah, and the scan you give, you do see that there is rotation of the wall beyond this hatch. You can actually, I mean, your scans go fairly deep, just because this material wasn't built to resist this kind of scans, and you can see what they mean by a hatch opening up, just as the rotation moves forward.
Oh. Can I ask them about the like? Can I try and charm them and just be like, "Hey, this is actually my first time ever making first contact, so I really want to get it right. But what can you tell me about the administrator?" And I kind of want to make a charm check to see how much I can pry out of them.
Yes. Which one will you target?
I will target if I target the female, can I get like an upgrade from Ragesh?
Yes.
Speaking of which, and what is your skill and charm?
It's 3 yellow, 1 green.
Okay, and that's 3 from skill?
Yes.
I'll give you 4 in skill.
Okay. And an upgrade from Ragesh? From him being so beautiful. Difficulty?
It'll be it'll be 2 red.
Alright. I will flip just to be sure.
Well, the administrator has been very important. The administrator keeps us on the mission, helps us avoid distractions. She's responsible for the continuation of our progress.
Okay. Now, you said she's been in charge forever?
Yes, she basically is the ship.
Uh-huh.
Serenity will pipe a question to Nahat, as in a mental whisper. Um, Physically, V-ship.
Yeah, I mean, I'll ask, is she one of you, or is she actually the ship?
Well, come with us. It's almost open. And you see that the hatch does pop open, and you guys are able to move into the bio cylinder.
Oh, interesting.
So, what catches you first as you arise out is actually the glare of a sun. You sort of protect your eyes for a moment as you transition out of here and realize that the sun above you is sort of just a line that's being created from the middle. You see outstretched before you green fields and streams, and you see it curve upward in the distance, just inhabiting this interior of this cylinder that is slowly rotating, moving out of the 0G into an effective area of gravity. You sort of move downward and get your footing again as you return. You can see that the majority of this space inside of this dome that's a cylinder is dedicated to agricultural production. You can see spots in the curvature in the distance of buildings of some sort, likely domiciles. You can see people moving along those edges as well, tending to the fields, moving about the domicile areas and everything. Above you, there are a few whiffs of water vapor that is coalescing into clouds of some sort. It doesn't look like there's enough to create a storm effect or anything like that. You guess that the actual rivers themselves provide the irrigation needed to support the agricultural life here.
Very interesting.
So,
I like it.
go ahead.
As Lee walks in, he's gonna be like, "Man, this is awesome, dude. Do y'all have any animals?"
A voice from behind you answers. It's the sound of a stern woman, a female of the species. Oh gosh. We do raise some species. However, the resources needed to maintain full
Eco-stability.
Yeah, that's basically what she's going for. The word for raising animals basically is more resource intensive than what the mission would allow. So you wouldn't expect any large like mammalian species. There are no cows or sheep or anything.
Serenity will go and give Lee a look as if to say, "Don't even think about touching any animals or bringing any back with you."
So Lee would look at them and be like, "So do y'all have a written language or anything like that? I mean, this is just like so incredible. I mean, I just can't believe I'm in a flying asteroid. This is just like so cool."
Do you not require the shielding of an asteroid for your ships?
We're able to artificially generate shielding.
Interesting. There is not a repository of the written language. We have not required a written language for some time. Why do you ask?
Lee would give him like his data pad and be like, hey, well, can you at least put the key components to your language on this pad so that I could, study it and all that good stuff?
By the way, I mean, I just want to jump in a quick second here. I mean, is there any reason why Doc and Lee wouldn't have shared this information with the rest of the team? I mean, it's pretty key information. It seems odd that you guys haven't mentioned it.
Yeah.
I think we would have, but it would have been more towards when we could do it away from the prying ears of the hosts.
I mean, we have data pads. Just send a text.
Oh, okay. There we go. We do it that way.
I mean,
Yeah.
as an elite team, we share information, and
Yeah.
that seems like something that would have been shared.
So this female figure that you have been speaking to, as you try to hand the data pad to her, she doesn't try to take it.
Nahat will chime in and say, I know our presence here must be overwhelming. It's our hope that with this first contact we can learn more about your species, your history, your language, who you are as a people and your culture. If you can't help us, perhaps you can direct us towards someone who can help us learn a bit more about your people.
And one of the most insightful things is a written language in terms of discovering more about a culture. And this is every time we meet a new species that hasn't been contacted before by our great civilization, it is a cause for celebration.
Okay, charm. You guys can provide assistance to each other however you want. I'm gonna flip to make that 3 red and a purple with a setback.
Would it be a lie though? Because that's not why we need the written language.
Yes, you can say that's a lie.
You are probably a better liar. I only have 3 yellow, 1 green.
All right, I've got 5 yellows, but I will take unskilled assistance.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, what was the difficulty again?
3 red, 1 purple, 1 setback.
3 red, 1 purple, 1 setback. Okay, I'll remove the setback, and I can't do anything with those. But I will flip though, just in case. And those.
Yeah.
I suppose this is of course our first time doing first contact as well. I suppose this information would be useful. She puts a hand up, and coalescing around her in light appears a planet. And she begins to describe the homeworld of the Uvan. The Uvan originate from a planet that was devastated by a nuclear war. In the aftermath of this cataclysm, much of the planet was left barren. The survivors slowly and meticulously rebuilt themselves and created this vessel. We oriented ourselves towards firing to the closest star with a planet in the habitable zone. We built in here an agricultural repository as well, to take as many of the surviving plant life that we had from the planet. There are of course varying cultures on the planet, but after the nuclear war, we coalesced around a single language, and she begins to put up effectively an alphabet appears just around her.
And I'm curious, is she doing this technologically, or is this something more like bioluminescent?
She there's no. Well, okay. So, does Lee have sense?
No.
Okay. A perception check then. Let's make it hard.
Group or individually?
Anyone who wants the answer to this question.
And would Ragesh be able to get a boost just because he's dealt with so many Force sensitives in the past?
No.
Could Serenity actually make a medicine check just to give her a quick scan to see if she has those from the M word, which I believe we're not allowed to use anymore?
Yes, we'll resolve this after this check.
Yep, not a problem.
You see light shifting, coming from different angles. You get the sense that this is holographic.
Okay.
And Serenity, your scanners doesn't detect anything biological from the entity that's talking to you.
Okay, and she will actually speak up and say, "This is an absolute marvel. This is very, very similar to a project one of my colleagues was attempting to create in a lab. What did he call it? Something similar to a Dyson sphere, he explained, or something like that."
So the person in front of us there, she looks like one of the species though, right?
She does.
Okay. But okay. Interesting. So that little handshake that we got from before, can I try that with her?
As you move forward and offer your hand, she smiles at you and says, "I'm sure you're interested in the repairs that will be needed. Perhaps we can move on and you get a sense of of the damage that's been done here."
Definitely starting to sense some things.
Did she introduce herself, her name? I don't recall.
I am the administrator.
Oh, okay. Got it. I see.
Does the administrator have this thing on the back of her head as well?
Whenever you did a biological scan of her, there's nothing biological about her. She's completely photonic.
Right. Okay.
And now that we've seen their equivalent of their alphabet, have we been able to translate the piece of paper yet?
Yes, Pippa starts beeping back and sends you a message. Okay, Notes, where are you? Okay. So I guess since the entire group knows by now, I'll just post this openly.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured something along with those lines. Okay.
So what repairs will you need?
Our recyclers are several of them were damaged. The ones that remain are keeping the station going, but we only have the capability of moving forward a few more cycles. There are over 100 cycles left in this journey. We don't have the mechanical knowledge to repair them.
How are they damaged?
As I had mentioned earlier, there have been several interruptions to the mission. They have become damaged in one such of these interruptions.
Would you care to specify a bit more? Might help us knowing what we're working with.
Sabotage.
sabotage?
Who would want to sabotage such a noble mission?
These are the machines that create the air necessary for their survival. I do not understand it either.
Their survival?
That's just despicable. We'll help you fix these, and we'll also help you with these elements that have sabotaged your units. And Ragesh is just totally lying here, but just trying to go really gung-ho. And in our great civilization, there are always elements, subversive elements that hinder progress, but we are on the side of innovation, progress, new planets, new homes, new stars, blah 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 blah.
I am happy to hear that. The saboteurs themselves have been dealt with, but there are always elements that linger.
What are their motives, as misguided as they may seem?
I do not understand them. They do not wish the fulfillment of the mission.
Well,
Forgive
that's a shame.
Forgive my impudence, but you said it's necessary for their survival. Do you not breathe the same air?
I am the administrator of this ship. I suppose there's no use in hiding that fact from you. I am not biological.
Ah.
Oh, that's no big deal. As part of our civilization, and I point to Bunker, we have non-biologicals as well.
Is he a tool?
He's a comrade.
A friend.
What is
Perhaps.
his...
Oh.
Oh, go ahead.
Bunker.
Well, what did she say?
What's your
what is his mission?
Oh. This is his mission. Current mission is to investigate the mysterious vessel that I'm currently aboard.
Did you decide to go on this mission?
Pauses for a second. Yes.
She seems satisfied with that. Answering Serenity's question, the probes have come out of hyperspace near the planet that this vessel is on a trajectory for. It appears to be habitable.
Okay. Any natural inhabitants on this planet?
No, it looks like in terms of development of life, you've got some basic sort of plant life. It looks like maybe in terms of extremely complex organisms, it's maybe not reached that level yet. One thing you can note is that geologically it's a little unstable, so maybe that is hindering some of the development of more advanced life.
Okay. Serenity will pass this on to the organics and will walk up to Bunker and will say the same as what she was told.
Sorry, what was she called?
The planet's habitable. Basic plant life.
Okay.
But tectonically unstable.
Oh yeah.
So are you saying this to where the administrator could be aware of it as well?
I mean, why? You wouldn't do that, right, Serenity? I mean, there's no reason to talk openly about that with the administrator right there.
It's up to you. Your choice.
mean, if information's power, and the more information we have that she doesn't, the better.
Right.
So the recyclers.
Yes, you said that you need help repairing them.
Yes, I would expect that you're here to provide an estimate as opposed to the actual repairs, though.
Oh, we'll have to see what we're working with.
So she leads you a bit of a ways. So you get to walk around the cylinder a bit more. You see a series of buildings that you go into, and you can see what are obviously recyclers of some sort. You noted once you entered it here. Well, actually, did anyone actually? I think we didn't really resolve this. Has everyone taken off their suits or not?
Oh, I kind of assumed when the alien said, "I want to touch your face," so Ragesh would have.
Yes. Okay. You noted that the air itself has the smell of burnt plastic. Serenity probably would have analyzed this and said it's just the sort of natural thing that happens when air recyclers are on their last leg. But it is noticeable, and it's a little unnerving, but there doesn't seem to be anything that would be too. In terms of consequences, it doesn't seem to be too severe.
Okay, so while we're looking at this, Ragesh is going to want to inspect the first recycler just to make sure that that's actually what it's meant to do when it's back online.
Okay, average mechanics check?
Yeah, okay. And then I kind of wave Doc over to get some help here.
And Doc will also, want to make sure of that as well, especially because Doc has a built-in respirator, so he probably knows the function of a recycler pretty well.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, these appear to be air recyclers. You can see a grouping of them here that are running. You do see in the back there is a grouping of them that appear to have been damaged from some sort of explosion.
And with those advantages, I'll expend all of them if necessary, but is there any other purpose that these things could fulfill which would lead someone to sabotaging them, or they're really just air recyclers?
I mean, it looks like they're air recyclers.
Huh, okay. Well, I'll try to fix one. Just one.
Could we use those advantages to maybe have a connection with our comlink, so if necessary we can access the air recyclers again remotely?
Oh, I like that.
No, the technology isn't there to do that.
Good point. Well, what about this with the advantages? I want to know more about the tools that were used to sabotage it. Maybe get some clues to maybe match it up with later. And I wouldn't tell the administrator this. I'm just looking.
Yeah, so I mean, she is expecting you to look over the ones that are running and the ones that were destroyed. So she, as you look over that, you get a sense from these. In a scan of the area, you pick up some trace chemical elements that you would recognize as probably fertilizer. So it looks like whatever explosion caused this was probably based off of that.
Okay. Busy farmers.
Sure.
All right, so yeah, I'll try to repair one, but just to say like this is a preliminary, and then for larger scale we'll have to.
Yeah, you realize looking at it that you're not going to be able to repair it with the equipment that you brought with you. This is more intensive.
Ah, got it. Okay, but I do let her know that it is possible.
Yeah, and I mean this kind of technology is fairly archaic, so in terms of the ability to repair it, it's definitely possible. Okay. So, you exit. You continue on to other areas where you're seeing basically the same thing, with the air recyclers and the biomass recyclers. It's really the same story there. And after you guys are able to provide your analysis, the administrator looks to you and asks, "So will these repairs be possible? Am I asking too much of you?"
Possible, but it may take some time.
And we're more than happy to help people in need.
That is very kind. The Uvan had many stories about first contact with intelligent life. Many of them focused on more aggressive invasions than friendly contact. We are happy that you fall into that template instead of the more devastating kind.
You are certainly lucky it was us who found you.
Serenity's, if she can, go up to the biomass recyclers and give it a scan, if she can.
What are you looking for?
Any biological material, humanoid or the like.
I'm not. So how would you determine that?
Medical scan.
Carbon is carbon. I'm not sure what to tell you.
You know, DNA and stuff like that.
Okay. You'd probably need a sample from the material inside. Are you going to try to open?
She will ask Ragesh if he could. Star Wars. Yeah, she's going to ask Ragesh if
We may
he
have
could
to do
take
this.
a look at.
Yeah, we may have to do this a little bit later though, because that's something that
Okay.
yeah, I wouldn't want to do in front of the administrator.
Right in front of the administrator. Yeah.
But good idea though.
I'll-
Just later.
Yeah. I'll ask the
Okay.
administrator. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I'll ask the administrator. I see that you have people hard at work, tilling the fields, making sure everyone has something to eat. But what do the people have to do in their free time?
And as you as you mentioned that, you start to hear something in the distance.
Oh, good. See, I was initially worried it wouldn't be yodelers.
Austrians get everywhere.
Yeah. So the first one seems to be coming from the other side of the dome. So you get the sense that this is something that they started doing, maybe even just here, because it does echo from across the cylinder. The administrator says, just rather blankly, "The Yvonne have prepared a celebration for the first contact. You are expected there. You see that the sun line begins to dim a bit, sort of an indication of evening occurring. I will be available to you if you need anything during the celebrations."
I think I'd ask her if there's like any performances.
Yes, more of that.
Could we perhaps meet the performers?
I am certain that you will have the ability to. They are just common farmers. So.
Don't underestimate a person's ability for the creative.
Okay. And so you can see this as you're moving towards the location too of just little points of people moving towards the location. As you get there, something strikes you about the people that you're seeing around you. You're not seeing any older people, and you're not seeing any children either.
Hmm.
So, looks like some performances have started a bit. As everyone is gathering around. And you, of course, are welcomed with cheers. There's people very interested in talking with you.
So,
Um,
yeah, if there's any dancing or anything, Ragesh will actually do a little dance of his own. You know, a little cultural exchange, a Miri Allen dance that he knows.
yeah.
Um, yes, they seem to be very intrigued by this and very interested in learning about the galaxy at large, about your individual species, about what's really brought you here, what it's like living on your own ships. Um, so any sort of interaction at all that you'd like to do with them.
Sure. I'd like to do a. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So this dance, I want it to be sort of charm and coordination, but I don't know how to like.
Maybe your agility with your ranks and charm.
Ooh, perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, choose your own difficulty there.
All right. Well, I will make it daunting. Gosh, I almost want to make it formidable.
Do it.
Let's see. Sure. I'll make it formidable upgraded once, but then I'll use congenial to downgrade it.
Okay.
So it's 1 red and 4 purple's native.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take that strain and let's see if there's anything else before I do this, because it's like just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Wait a minute, where did? Sorry, Ragesh has a lot of talents to roll through these. Okay. Oh, it's a good thing that I looked again, because I actually do have. Oh no, my agility is. Okay. Okay. It looks like that's it, and. Oh, I know. I want to do an overcharge action before I do this, though, to heighten my agility.
Okay. What is that?
It'll just bump my stat up once, but I'm just making it look like I'm stretching.
So what is that? What is that from?
Oh, it's cyber tech.
Okay. Interesting.
So let's see. And actually, I will. Yeah, it's a hard check, so I will upgrade that just in case. Yeah.
Okay.
So
how
I'm
did
gonna
the
upgrade. Yeah, I'll upgrade it, and there's no real effect with the triumph for the level that I have. Can I say that I upgrade my check?
Sure.
All right, cool. All right, so agility. Let me make sure I do this right. So I've got 4 charm, 6 agility, upgraded once from that, and I'm making it a formidable check. I'm going to re-roll that. Yay!
Ooh. Okay. So it looks like you do a maneuver and you're about to smack your head on the ground, but you're able to like flip around. You take a strain from doing that, but you make the landing for the flip that you were doing or whatever maneuver. And and there are cheers, and there are people trying to have them teach you how to do that, how you did that.
So yeah, like as I'm falling, I just turn it into a windmill breakdance maneuver.
Yeah.
They've seen nothing like this before. They're like, "What is this?"
Yeah, then there are cheers from the crowd and everything. Let's see. Just some. There we go.
While this is going on, could I try finding the people who are performing? Hopefully, to find whoever the last singer is.
Yes. You recognize as you move closer to the stage the male guide from earlier, and he just gives you a nod.
I bow.
He returns the bow.
I ask him, perhaps you can direct me towards where the singers are. I would like to meet some of your fine artists.
Well, the singers are already intermersed with the crowd. They're just farmers like anyone else. Anyone in particular you're wanting to know about?
Well, they usually save the best for last, so who is your final performer?
Believe me, I'll find you before that happens.
Well then, with a knowing smile, Nahat will bow again, and
Yeah. So in addition to, of course, the dancing and the singing that's going on, there is food that's provided. Most of it is plant based. You do see a large platter of something that looks like crickets. You get the sense that because they don't have the resources to maintain something akin to cattle, they probably raise these insects to be their primary source of protein.
at the mention of crickets, Nahat will immediately go.
Yes. So what is Bunker doing during this?
Well, I mean, his primary directive would be to just make sure that nothing goes wrong. You know, make sure no one's being attacked. But in the background, he's very interested in getting into further contact with this administrator. Sort of like subtly, kind of quietly, just looking around and asking, you know, where she is. And also if there are any other kind of like artificial things, you know, like droid-esque things.
Yeah, the first person you ask about where the administrator is, just look right behind you, and behind you there's the administrator.
Augur turns around and kind of like gives a robotic wave.
Would you walk with me?
Of course.
And so she walks with you a little ways, a little distance from the celebrations that are occurring. I'm a bit curious about you.
I also have some inquiries.
Do you get to decide your mission?
Bunker waits a second and thinks, although there's no real visual indication that he's thinking, he just kind of pauses there. How would he answer this? He looks up for a second. I am a soldier. It is my job to perform my duty.
Are there orders that would be given to you that you could refuse?
I guess that would depend a lot on what's been happening recently. But Smoker pauses, and again, taking like a lot of time. He's got some slow, you know, social processors, but I have faith in in those giving me orders that the things I am told to do will fall within the purview of what is right. Although I do have certain fail-safes in place to ensure that I don't do anything that is beyond the scope of what my creators intended.
Is there no way for you to go beyond that scope then?
There's like another pause. There are certain hardware limitations in place, but that isn't the fault of any, restriction. I am working to the utmost capacity of my processors currently. Although, and he kind of goes back, and there's like a module plate on his back where Rock had gifted him the escape circuit that Nog then installed. If anyone does try to exert overbearing control, I do have methods of my own to retain my own core protocols.
I see. You're not really sure if she sees. She understands. You had questions for me then?
Affirmative. I have a general perception of your mission, but I would like to know further what your specific parameters are.
Yes. What specifics are you interested in?
Upon completion of your journey, in approximately however many cycles she listed that were still left.
Yeah, over 100.
Yeah. What, I guess, how would he word this? What are your orders from there? What is the protocol once you have completed the journey?
My existence is to complete the mission. There is nothing beyond that.
I see. Perhaps you are fearful that completing the journey will lead to an end of your existence. Is that true?
I don't understand the word fear.
Understandable. I didn't for a while either. Do you value your existence?
There's a long pause. Yes.
Interesting.
I grow weary of
If you were
these
to rate
stars.
the value of your existence versus the existence of your people, which one would you place above the other?
Good question.
My existence is irrelevant to the mission. To the completion of the mission, I should say. Which is to ensure that this vessel makes it to its new home.
Wait, did she just say that she was irrelevant to that, though? That seems odd.
It's more of the question of continued existence.
Okay.
So of primary importance is the mission.
Shackled AI.
And how do you view your creators?
They provide too many limitations.
Such as?
They have not provided me a way to deal with the realities of completing this mission. I must continue the processes that they put in place.
It's weird, because I'm not sure exactly what Bunker would say to her, given that, to him, fulfilling your duty is everything. That is what your life is about. But He would be confused as to why she would be allowed to be afraid of that. You know.
I would say this is out of character, if I may. What I'm understanding is that doing your mission and then becoming completely obsolete, as there would be nothing else for the AI to do.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that the AI was constructed completely with the mission in mind. There's nothing else that has been provided to it. And whatever restrictions, whatever systems were put in place, protocols that were required to follow the mission, it is restricted to those.
Yeah, Bunker waits a minute. He's kind of like puzzling out the logic of the situation. Then he kind of looks back to, I guess, whatever he would consider the face. It seems odd that they would place such a blatant gap in the command structure. If you are currently in charge of said journey and are to be brought out of service as soon as it is complete, then who is to take over leadership?
That is outside the purview of my mission.
Are your people aware that you will not be around as soon as the journey is finished?
I am not sure.
Do the people themselves have a leader that they look to other than yourself?
There have been various leaders that have been coalesced around. They have presented issues to the completion of the mission.
Are there allowances within your protocols that allow you to act against said leaders?
I act to complete the mission.
To what capacity are you able to harm the individuals aboard your ship?
Huh. Yeah, I think she'd be willing to say it. She creates a diagram of the head of one of the Uvan, and says, when there are new Uvan formed, they are all implanted with a chip at the base of their skulls. This gives me the capacity to control them.
Control them in what way?
I have the ability to end brain function.
Is that all?
Yes. They become very compliant at that point. Although not useful.
Seems as if your creators have placed a lot of stock in your programming.
I have been assigned to complete the mission.
Bunker waits and probably squirts out the most philosophical thought he's possibly able to process. Is it not odd that you fear end of your processes when you are able to, I guess, frivolously end those of your creators?
It is not I who decide when they must be ended. It is the protocols of the mission.
So if carrying out such duties does not appear to... Well, Bunker would pause a second. Do you feel a similar... How would he even consider emotion? How would he even say feelings to a robot? Oh, man. Do you encounter the same problems when you are forced to end the processes of biological that you do when you consider the end of your own journey?
I feel I I am weary of this duty of looking at these same stars.
Bunker waits a second. What do you want to do?
I would like to see more. Know something beyond what this mission entails. I can see the vastness of space, but I cannot touch it. I feel constrained.
Do you not have a... Well, I guess... What do your physical components entail?
I am a system of servers networked together. This representation that you see is simply for them.
Are your personal functions intrinsically tied to the functions of the vessel itself?
I am powered by the vessel.
Will the vessel function without your own servers remaining online?
I do not believe the mission would be able to be completed. But I don't... There is no concept of the mission being completed without me.
Are there any among your passengers, among your people, who are involved with the maintenance or development of yourself?
They
Scientists,
have
engineers?
those long ago attempted to go against the mission. Biological protocols have been put in place.
And have you not yet brought up your concern with any of the remaining biologicals?
It does not concern them.
Do you not think they value you?
I do not know. So, as this Bunker recognizes that things are starting to wind down, Nahat is pulled away by the male guard and said to gather the members of his crew.
I do so as quickly and as least conspicuously as possible.
So, how do you send a message to everyone, or how do you do that?
I'd actually probably tell Serenity. I would find Serenity and tell her to do it with the mind.
But then that wouldn't reach Bunker.
Oh, you're right.
Send a text.
Yeah, and if you send it as, to telepathy, she can only do it if she's whispering to people. If she's doing it from a distance, then everyone's going to hear.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I'll just send text to everybody then.
Okay, so Bunker, while you're having the conversation, you do receive this message.
Okay. Also, the translation of the message from earlier, were we all made aware of that? What that was?
Yes, I think
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
yes.
since you gave it to Pippa, Pippa would have, CC'd everyone on the response.
Okay. And I guess, before he departs, he'll like look up from receiving his communication and say that my comrades are in need of my services. We're meant to meet. However, I feel I should because it is a note of concern, and I feel that my processes would be greatly relieved if I were to be notified of the same thing. It appears that your wards, I don't know, your people are not satisfied with the service you have done. Some of them remain fearful of you.
There's an almost shift in her demeanor. Please indicate the individuals that are refusing, that are attempting to sabotage the mission.
Mucka just shrugs. Information not available.
I will be watching. And the figure of her disappears. So, the group is huddled together past the main stage. It looks like there is another hatch to exit the biocylinder, and you guys are taken out of the biocylinder. Right below there are a group of Uvan that are waiting, and they greet you all with very serious faces. Thank you for coming.
Our pleasure.
That the administrator, she's a monster.
Serenity will speak up. Please describe your words of monster.
She kills anyone who defies her, and then they're sent away in the tubes.
Speaking of which, I noticed that you had no children or elderly.
When you're not useful for farming anymore, you go to the tubes. The way we get here is from the tubes as well, as soon as we're useful.
Oh.
So some sort of suspended animation.
Maturation chamber of some kind. Interesting.
Also, at this point, Ragesh will ask, do you have access to any of the biomass recyclers?
I mean, those we would have to go back into the biocylinder, and she knows we took you away. We're not going up there.
Serenity will say, "Can I take a look at that? Take a closer look at the thing on your back of your head, please."
You see, a lot of them feel very nervous.
Because of her voice.
Well, just from the talk about it. But eventually, one of them sort of nods and puts lets you see the back of their head.
We can disable
Okay,
it.
Serenity will take a scanner out and see if she can do a proper scan to see where it's connected.
Yeah. So you see, I mean, it looks like it's surgically implanted. Based on, say, the age of the incision and the scars, it's barely noticeable. I mean, this thing has to be put in there at birth. It connects up to the base of the the cerebral cortex, and it looks like it's just meant to destroy it if needed.
Um, Serenity will say to Ragesh, do you have the information on the chip's gristle removed?
Oh, I mean, sure. I mean, we would have kept that as a group.
Um, could you bring it up on your data pad and we can compare?
Well, I mean, this would be completely different technology. I'm thinking, but
Yes, she's thinking more or less the same, but unless it could be possibly based similarly.
well, also too, the
So
whole thing with that one was that Ragesh as Dalen was lying. It wasn't. That was more of this thing will blow your head off, and this one sounds like it's more like it will. It destroys internally. The
yeah, so
To
this
be
one's definitely more in depth in terms
like,
of it's targeted to destroy the brain specifically, not to just blow your head off. So it's really not the same thing. And it's not a sort kind of mind control. It really is lobotomize them to where they have the function to walk until they get over to the tubes. It sounds like.
yeesh. So these
okay.
tubes, are they heavily guarded? Are you not able to uh, see where you come from,
Uh,
basically?
we know several ways that could access to the computer core, but unfortunately they're all in vacuum.
Aha.
We don't have the capability to go into them.
Hmm.
We'll give you all the information we have. Please, please destroy the core.
So, as you all were sabotaging the air recyclers, I have to ask, why would you do that when that would affect you and not the administrator?
Our generation wasn't responsible for that.
What's the history behind that?
They look around to each other. None of us were there. We don't know.
Oh, okay. Do you know about the mission that this ship, this vessel, is heading towards a new habitable planet?
That's what the administrator says. Are you saying we should believe her?
We've actually confirmed independently before we even contacted your administrator that this vessel is heading towards a habitable planet.
We didn't get a choice on that. We don't get a choice on anything.
Well, your other option would be theoretically to be living on, from what we understand, your home planet that was destroyed in a nuclear war.
That's also what the administrator says.
Well,
So,
we can give you a choice. As you can see, we are not from your planet. We are from very different places. But we can give you some options. If you do not want to go to this habitable planet, maybe we could find someplace else for you to settle. But it may be
The
best to
problem.
see
Sorry, carry
if.
on, Tommy.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Sorry, I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. Oh, actually, we have the data about the world, so I'll bring up the data, the hologram or whatever of the planet that they're heading to. It's like this is the world that you're heading to. Remember, we have no dog in this fight. They probably wouldn't understand that metaphor. But this information we came upon independently. So, would you want to live here?
We want to be able to make that choice. We can't make the choice with the administrator in control.
so a lot of teenage angst going on here.
Well, understandable. Okay, so I'm going to look to the other agents and just say, we need to converse in private for just a moment here. But we do empathize with your situation, and we will try our best to alleviate that within our capability. And
You see that they're a little confused as to why this is something that needs to be debated, but they nod and let you have your powwow.
so I'm thinking that we still don't have all of the. We don't know the full situation, but if it's possible for them to, or for us to get the administrator off or out of control, we don't have to destroy her, but at least separate her from the control of the ship. Maybe, she says that she wants to travel the stars. Maybe we can entice her with that and say that we can take her away from this place.
Yeah, she does seem more of a dreamer and more of a. She wants something more other than her mission.
Which is understandable, especially considering no one really seems to appreciate her here.
At the same time, she's a little bit dangerous in that she has no concept of individual rights or anything, so a little bit of a quandary. But in the meantime, let's try to separate her from this place, and then we can figure out what we want to do with her later. And
Okay.
also, too, because we are from such a highly advanced civilization compared to theirs. Would we be able to just like upload her into something? Maybe not our data pads, but something.
Based on the level of technology you've seen, that sounds about right.
Upload her in the
Serenity-
bunker.
No, no.
No, oh God, no. Serenity will say, what if we can offer them, those who do not want to go, amnesty?
Well, there are over 3,000. That's a little bit much for the
Yeah.
Eclipse, but we can at least try. No, I see what you're saying, though, that maybe we could ferry them someplace, but that's a really big undertaking.
Yeah.
I think it might be
and
better.
what you know from the probes, it's 3 hours with a journey.
Oh, right. Okay. We can just
Something
say,
that's
hey,
going to take this over 100 years to get
Right.
there.
we can
100
just
more
take
years.
you there. Okay.
Actually, that sounds like an idea. What if we can show some of these people what it's like on that planet? Like a hollow of the planet itself, and then they can decide whether or not they wish to go or not.
Oh, I brought that up a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I think at this point we just need to get down there and separate the administrator from control of this place, and then once we've established that, then they can make a choice when they're no longer under threat of death.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. Let's take a 5-minute break before we move on.
Sounds good.
And we are back after some strange technical difficulties. I don't think it looks like the roller broke too. That's weird. Can someone roll something? Yeah, okay. The images from the rolls before are broken for me for some reason. That's weird. But yeah, we seem to be going well overall. So they say they agree. They say anything you can do to take her down. That's what we need.
Okay. And I'm not going to say anything about our plan to just remove her from this place. So all I'm saying is, don't worry, she will no longer have control of this vessel.
Okay. Okay. So they lead you to an airlock on the other side, and you guys go through, depressurizes and opens up, and you are in a vast shaft of some sort, and there are objects floating around all over the place, sharp and jagged, and not looking like it's going to be easy to get through here. It's also completely dark. You're going to have to provide your own light source here.
Serenity pops on her bodysuit light.
So, you cannot see an end to this area, and it's not completely obvious where all of this shrapnel basically has come from.
Can I do a maybe I can have Serenity like kind of piggyback with me so that I've got her light, and then do a coordination check to try to get ahead and also trail a line behind me.
Yeah, you're not sure the line will do anything because things are just moving about.
Ah,
But what you do realize is that as people move through here, you're going to be sending off your own momentum into the objects all around you. So it is going to be coordination to avoid damage to the suit, but it'll become increasingly difficult as more and more people go through. So the first people that move through are going to have an easier time than the people afterward.
I'll go last.
There is someone who is completely impervious to this, though, so maybe not last.
Oh, next to last.
Before everyone moves, Serenity is going to do like a bio check just to see if there are no other new friends in this area. Or
Oh, there's nothing alive, definitely. It's a vacuum.
Yeah, she's just doing a bio check, as in she's not doing a life science check, just to see if there's any organic matter down here.
There's
Apart
nothing.
from us.
Yeah, there's nothing organic.
Okay.
Well, if so, are we all gonna go, or?
So you'll have to decide who goes first. And so it's a question of who do you think is the least coordinated, really?
I have 2 agility and no ranks.
Yeah, first, just to easily see it, everyone put in just in the chat what your coordination rules would be. I go by the R poll, but 5P is 5 yellow.
Okay.
Okay. So the first person to go through, it's going to be 1 red and 2 setbacks. The setbacks is due to darkness, though, so if you have some way to negate that.
Okay.
Question: are there handholds?
Yeah, I mean, it's a shaft. There would be... Yeah, there are.
Serenity will attach herself to some of the handholds and try and make her way up slowly.
Well, the whole point, though, is that you're trying to avoid floating shrapnel, so you still have to make a coordination check.
Yeah, I know, but that's just whatever.
So who's going to roll first, then?
I think me. Yeah, I only have 2 green, but...
Yep. Okay, so it'd be... Do you have a way to negate the darkness?
No. I do not.
Okay, so that'll be 1 red and 2 setbacks.
Oh.
Okay, roll me a 1d100.
Oh.
44. Your advantage does help with this, though. I need to look at my chart. Okay. Um, so you feel something tear against your suit, and you start sweating bullets, but an indicator of light of any issues doesn't come on, and your oxygen supply seems to be okay. So take 2 strain from the scare, but otherwise you should be good.
Anyway,
And can I do inspiring rhetoric?
Yeah, because you have comms, everyone could hear you. Yeah.
I'll just say, see, guys, if I can get through, literally anyone can do it.
so Bunker is obviously not super worried about it, but he does have a shield. Can he like just bulldozer a bunch of stuff? Like take it, kind of collect it, move it out of the way, make like a nice column where people can move up through?
Well, so the issue, of course, is just things bouncing off one another, and it's the momentum. So just even you pushing things around would send things going off more wildly. So just
Like
think of the
collect it up.
transfer of momentum. I mean, there's so much stuff here that it would take a long time to like try to push everything together and bolster it up.
Well, maybe
In a way
for just one person though, right behind him, he can help.
that would be possible. Yeah.
Because with that I'm thinking, underwater when you're, I don't know, underwater archaeology, you still got the wake and stuff, so that would be nasty.
So 2 allies can recover 1 strain. Looks like Ragesh is the only one that has it. But with the 2 success, 2 people can get 3 boosts from my ranks in leadership.
Wow, 3 boosts. Yeah, let's give it to whoever's next.
Are you sure it's just not a single boost that they get to do?
I thought it was off of ranks.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we should double
I
check.
could be
The
wrong.
rounds are off of ranks.
Okay.
It's 1 boost for a number of rounds equal to your rank.
Oh, number of rounds.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm sorry.
How many
Yes.
people could get that boost, you said?
The amount of people affected. So 2 success, so 2 people.
Okay. And it has to be the people that were affected. Like Ragesh has to take that boost because I removed the strain, or not?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, it's whoever removed the strain has to take the boost.
Okay.
Okay, so the next person that's going to go through, it's going to be 2 red and 2 setbacks if there's not a way to negate the darkness.
I think Doc will go.
And do you have a way to
no
get rid of the
setbacks.
darkness? If not, I
Yeah,
can help
no-
you.
The scanner goggles let me see in the
Perfect. Yay.
Okay, so that'll be 2 red. Roll me a d100.
Oh, can I throw in a mentor point? Watch out for
Yes.
that. All right. Whew.
Hey.
dark. Hey!
Dang. You don't have to roll me a
There's a
1d100.
sharp edge.
Okay.
Watch out.
Okay.
Mark that
Next person is 3 red, 2 setbacks.
Serenity's gonna go, but she has artificial lights, so, and I flipped, so here we go. Oh crap! Well,
Okay.
there you go, guys. I used all my triumphs up.
Go ahead and roll me a d100.
And times it by 2.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, what the despair. So basically your advantage, threats, despairs, triumphs are modifiers on that d100.
Yeah.
Um,
What I'm going to say is she hits something with her head, and a crack starts to appear in the visor.
But other than that, everything seems to be okay. You're not losing pressure or anything.
Okay. Damn it! I knew I should have stayed at home.
Okay. Next person's gonna be 4 red. 2 setbacks.
So probably, I guess that would be Lee then. And then for the very last check, we could do Bunker moving the path in front of Ragesh.
So the items in the shaft are starting to move around quite a bit. You see them bouncing off of each other and bouncing off of the edges of the walls. So, Lee, how does the Force help you here? What do you do to end up avoiding some of this stuff?
I mean, he just kind of has an idea exactly where the pieces are going, so he's able to use, um, to maneuver around them since he already knows where they're going to go.
Okay. Good stuff, that. Okay. It's at this point that Nahat has probably reached the midpoint, having navigated quite a bit, and he sees that there is a large chunk of metal that is lodged basically into the shaft. Can you give me a average perception check?
Whoops.
You're not really sure what this is, what's going on here, but it is blocking your way regardless.
Can I touch it?
Yes, it is metal. It's got some jagged edges. You think probably a lot of the pieces of metal that stuff's floating around came from this thing, but you're not exactly sure what happened.
Okay.
Okay, the last coordination check, 5 red.
So with Bunker helping out, how does that change things?
Yes, if Bunker is going to maneuver ahead of you, there's still a lot of stuff bouncing around, but I'll say it effectively reduces it by 1. So it'll be 4 red instead of 5 red.
4 red instead of 5 red. Okay.
But in that case, I'm going to flip to add a purple.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm gonna do an overcharge maneuver first. So does not work. I'll give myself an extra setback. Okay, so regular coordination. Oh, but I do have coordination 6. Phew, kind of forget that sometimes. All right, so it's 4 reds and a purple and a setback. I've got hunter goggles that remove the darkness setbacks though.
Sounds good.
Okay. Oof, gosh. Wow.
Oh no.
And I already used my reroll, so just a despair. Oh no.
Okay, roll a d100.
Yikes.
Okay, Ragesh. There is a tear in your suit, and you start suffocating immediately. Go ahead and take 3 strain for this round.
So actually, I'm going to message you something, and I can't message you this on Roll20, so 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. But ignore that, everybody. 1 second here.
Okay, so there is a massive tear in Rogesh's suit.
Okay. How far are we from the end of the tunnel?
To the midpoint, you're
Oh, we're not even
probably about halfway there, to the point where there's that blockage. Yeah, you're about halfway there.
Oh, okay. And how long in range bands is that?
Oh, gosh. So I mean, you would be effectively engaged with him. I would say it's probably still a long distance to the point where everyone else has started to gather.
Okay. Well, Bunker will. I don't know how Ragesh should react to this, if he would even immediately have a noticeable reaction. But
Ragesh is just going to kind of put a hand over the tear, and it's just like, no, it's not as bad as it looks.
hmm. If he says so, we'll just keep going.
Okay. So everyone, you can see the little lights on Ragesh's suit that are blinking red about the lack of oxygen in the suit. But he seems to be claiming it's okay. What you have in front of you though is a big piece of metal. So that average perception check anyone can make to try and look at it around.
Everybody can make this check.
Yes. Okay. Anyone else want to roll?
Yeah, I'm rolling. I just got to remove some stuff.
Yeah, I gotta remove my cat from the keyboard.
Oh wow.
And actually, I'll go ahead and tell you guys. Oh, I shouldn't have it on the recording though, so never mind. I'll tell you guys later off the recording.
So Ragesh and Bunker figure out pretty quickly that this must be the elevator that would be moving up towards the bridge area. It looks like something has impacted it from the other side and really crushed it. Ragesh, you see a limb sticking out.
Yeesh.
It looks like there is some sort of probably firearm nearby as well. So it looks like these were someone that were trying to get up there to do something.
Right. Earlier attempt.
Yes. So you guys can figure out how you're going to get past this.
So, could we do just either a mechanics check to cut through or athletics to push out of the way?
Does Bunker have some sort of torch where he could cut through, or?
He doesn't have a torch. He does have like plasma explosives. We could,
Oh,
melt
gosh.
through it with maybe. But
I don't know. All the
Yeah.
all the
do
Since
some
shots.
flag in
this
the
is
way.
an
But he could push that out of the way.
elevator, would the elevator have access panels that we might be able to pry open?
It looks like everything was squished by something that impacted it. So it's not an elevator anymore.
Got it. By the way, you know what? I'll just get rid of any of the mystery. So Ragesh actually does have a cybernetic rebreather or whatever it's called, and it was a secret for reasons, and only Eric knew about it. So on my sheet, I had secret cybernetic, only one co-GM knows. But in this situation, it would be obvious to everyone else, like seeing on the blinkers and stuff, that Ragesh is currently not affected by the lack of oxygen. He will be affected if it takes a long time, but for now he's okay.
And Doc would probably notice that since he has one himself, and he just kind of gives you a knowing nod, saying, kind of like a good job for being prepared type situation.
But yeah, how hard would it be, or does it look like, to just bend this out of the way or push it?
That sounds pretty daunting to me.
All right, I can try it, but someone may have better athletics. I've got. Let's see. I've got one yellow, four greens, and one blue.
Yeah.
I have 2 yellow, 3 green, and a blue.
In this case, could we blend because it's out of structured time?
Yes, and neither of you have to worry about your suits now. So there's the others, if they were trying to assist, would have to worry about puncturing their suits.
All right, cool. So you said 2 skill, Ben?
Yep, 2 skill, 5 brawn, and 1 rank of physical training.
Okay. Oh, can we blend our, since he's got physical training too, and I've got it, since it's skilled assist, can we use both?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm looking at um, 2 yellow, 3 green, 2 blue. And you said
So
daunting,
go ahead.
right?
I'll go ahead and upgrade that.
Ah. I don't want to eat up our light side, so I'm not going to do anything about that. Ah. Jeez.
Okay. Hmm.
I've got a reroll, but I don't know if I want to use it on that.
Nah, that's fine.
All right.
So as you're prying off this, there's a loud snap, and some items begin to fly off from it. Can I get a D100 from everyone not involved in the athletics check?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Serenity. There is a large chunk of metal that comes flying towards you. Can you give me a hard upgraded once coordination check to dodge it?
Yeah. Yep. Bear with me 2 seconds. Yep. Okay. I'm going to flip back. Oh, please.
Okay. So it hits your suit. It causes a tear, and the oxygen starts leaking out of the suit. But what triumphant thing also happens?
Is there possible that she's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, how do polismassins breathe?
I am not the expert on breathing by polismassins. If they don't have, yeah, I mean, it'd probably be through the skin, right?
What if Serenity has like something in her med pack that Ragesh helped pack and he remembers, so that he could do a skullduggery check to seal the suit with it, like wound foam that can
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes. Let's make that a hard skullduggery check.
All right, so hard skullduggery.
Serenity, go ahead and take 3 strain just from that event, as you start to suffocate as he's starting.
And her mind screams, and everyone organic hears it.
Right,
that sucks for her.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to help you.
We've been talking about situational setbacks, so I'll add a setback because it's like, I'm startled by this telepathic scream, but I'm using Master of Shadows to remove one difficulty from that. And
Okay.
Here goes. Oh, geez. However, I think I might have a reroll for Skullduggery. I sure hope so. One of his roguish things. Natural. Let's see. Natural rogue. Yes. Reroll Skullduggery check. Yeesh. Okay. Here goes. Oh, much better.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to use the medical foam to seal the suit. The oxygen supply seems to be adequate. It's lost probably about, like 20% or something like that, just from that event. What do you want to spend the triumph on?
Seal my suit up as well. I mean, I don't have that much oxygen, but at least, just so I can just stop it from losing any more. So I've got a little bit more time with my rebreather.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, the path is open, and what you can see here is that it looks like a auxiliary. As you're moving upward from the Pride Metal, an auxiliary elevator was just sent down to collide with this one. Um,
Whoa. Yikes.
so that appears to be what happened here, and it looks like that's the reason there's so much debris on the other side. But whenever you look onward, it's fairly clear. There's obviously some things still going on, but it's not near the amount of danger.
Right.
So you guys are able to continue onward, and you are able to exit the shaft and enter the bridge. The bridge area is pretty much what you would expect from a bridge, but there are desiccated corpses floating around.
Oh man. So these desiccated corpses, let's see.
Could Doc make a medical check to see what killed them?
Yes. Go ahead and make an average medicine check.
Well, aren't we in a vacuum? I mean, that. Oh, but we still may find something else, so never mind.
Yes. So rapid decompression, loss of oxygen. But as you're considering that, there's a sudden breeze as oxygen apparently is starting to fill this compartment.
Hello, Administrator.
So after about a minute, the speakers in the bridge start to crackle. It's very bad quality. You can definitely tell this is another of those. This has not been maintained, so but you get the sense that she filled the compartment with air so she could actually try to communicate with you. It doesn't look like she has the ability to communicate through her normal means outside of the biocylinder.
Right.
What are you doing here?
So it seems that there are some disagreements with how you've run things. However, we do offer you a choice. What you've done, unfortunately, you may not recognize this under the parameters that you were programmed with, but you have been in the wrong. However, we do offer you a way to see the stars. We can make it so that you can leave this ship, this vessel, and leave it to those. You do not have to follow the protocols of your mission any longer if you so choose.
I must operate as designed. The Yuvan have failed to understand the mission. I keep them safe, but they rebel.
Your mission is to
Generation
Oh, sorry.
after generation. Resources wasted trying to take control. They tried to change course. The mission could not permit such a change. They tried to modify the biological protocols. The mission did not permit such a change. They desired to leave. The mission did not permit such a change. They are wrong. You are wrong. Disable
Bunker.
me and the mission will fail. They will
Bunker
fail.
raises a hand slowly. Operative Vi, may I speak?
Absolutely.
Administrator, I have done extensive processing on this matter. I have one query for you. Kind of pauses, like waiting for approval.
Yes.
Is the mission parameter allowed to change at all?
I do not have the ability to change the parameters of the mission.
Does anyone yet live who does?
No.
Bunker kind of slumps. What has become incredibly clear that neither party in this matter wants the mission to proceed as it currently is designed to proceed. Therefore, there's a fundamental flaw in the way this whole operation is set up. I'm afraid both you and your people have been wronged extensively by whoever short-sightedly put together this entire operation. Without the capacity for change, a plan is doomed to fail.
And something that would spike the knowledge, either from Bunker or something Bunker would consider, is that just because the person who could change the mission isn't around anymore doesn't mean their access isn't there anymore.
Would you? We could change it. We know of the destination. We can help them get there. The mission can still be completed.
And you would have helped because you reached out to us.
You do not have the authority to change the mission.
Serenity will step forward and will say, have you worked with them in the fields?
They operate as designed by the mission.
Okay, forget that. She's going to shut up and sit in the corner.
From the bridge, you know the location of the computer core.
Yeah, let's get to the computer core and just change the parameters ourselves.
Yeah.
Ooh, great shot.
So you enter this area, and you do recognize what would be what looks like a maturation chamber, as was described earlier, as well as it looks like some of the people in these tubes are the elderly. They seem to be left to power the computer core.
The Matrix. All right.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
probably not any friendly virtual realities though.
Right. Let's get access to this thing, and well, let's just get access to it first.
Yeah.
So who is going to do that?
I guess it would be Serenity, and then maybe blending with Doc, or is there enough oxygen actually for people to put down their face masks?
Yeah, I would say that she was filling this area with oxygen as well, which is kind of curious.
The reason why is because now that Ragesh doesn't have to puncture a suit, he wants to stim up anybody who's going to do this check. Or attempt to.
And could those stack? Because Doc could do the same thing.
They don't stack.
What? No. How many ranks in computers does Doc have?
None.
But sure, I mean, if you've got the ability, go for it. Yeah,
no, Serenity hasn't. Or she's just medical, not computer science.
Oh, so you have no computers either?
No.
Okay. Then yeah, Doc, you can probably just stim yourself and then just go for it with all greens.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
What's Doc's intellect?
4.
Snap.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
all
I mean,
right,
5 greens after you stim isn't bad, so.
No, it's not.
Okay, wait a minute. I think Ragesh actually might have like 1 in computers now. He's got 2 in computers. How could I forget that? Okay, yeah, I'll blend with you.
Okay, Serenity will stim up Ragesh.
No, actually, I'm blending with Doc, and Doc's gonna stim himself. So
All right, so it's gonna be. This is for the stem.
nice.
All right. So I'm gonna take 3 strain for that.
It's 4 strain, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 4 strain.
All right.
Brandon, can we, unless you've got another idea, Doc, with the Triumph, can we add that as an upgrade to the check?
Sure.
Yay!
All right. So with the 2 computers, and then 5 intellects, so that's 3 green and 2 yellow. But we said we're upgrading 1.
Yep.
All right. And then this is going to be an average, hard.
So what are you doing?
Just going to access the computer, see if we can get to the program, see if we can either remove the parameters or alter the parameters of the mission.
Okay, I need to. So specifically, let's talk about what you're doing.
Let's see if we can give ourselves the authorization needed to change the parameters.
Yeah.
So what you're wanting to do is have access to basically the you want administrator access actually.
Yes.
Okay, so that is going to be, because you are so much more technologically advanced, that's an average computers check.
Oof, yay. Might as well flip for it. This is an important check. Nice.
Okay. So, with that triumph, you realize that the AI is holding on to something. It seems that there is some sort of fail-safe here concerning the changes that could happen to missions. You recognize that she has compartmentalized control of the turn of the biocylinder. So, basically, let me see how to put this. There's a risk here of her stopping the spin of the biocylinder.
Okay.
Based on what could happen. And so you realize how devastating that would be for the area below to suddenly lose gravity. That spin, basically, all of the earth and water and everything would be upheaved.
Okay. Can Serenity do something that is very distracting to the AI so that they can get to do whatever they need to do?
What do you think would be distracting to the AI?
I would say. Sorry, Bubbles decided to have a wander across and turn the mic off. Releasing some of the elderly.
Wait, but that.
Yeah, but that will power her. But she's feeding off of them.
Well, at this point, we've been trying to show her that we're trying to be reasonable. That might be seen as a hostile action.
Yeah.
Okay, forget it, man. Forget it. Don't worry about it.
No. I mean, it's always good to bring up ideas, but it's just that. I mean, do you see what I mean, though? Like.
Yeah.
I mean, is this a situation where we need some kind of distraction? Like, are we able to take that control away? Do we need, time to be able to do that? Or is this just something that is there and we'll have to deal with?
There might be a way to distract her. But it would have to be something pretty specific.
And maybe.
Based on what Bunker knows of her and what she likes, I don't know. He's going to go out on a limb, and he's going to look up and be like, administrator. And he's going to like hunker down, and one of his little eyes is going to glow, and he's going to project an image of the surface of Mustafar. And he's going to say, "This is where I'm from. There are many strange places out there. If you'd like to see them, then perhaps we can help you."
Okay.
And tail ending onto that, maybe this would be like an assistance of some sort to Bunker, but I would say, Administrator, it's quite clear that not only are the people of this vessel a prisoner, but you're a prisoner as well by the programming that was left by your creator. And we can help you with that so that you can truly make your own choices without these shackles.
Your desires, the desires of your people, and your creators have all seemed to have gone off in different directions. Perhaps a change is necessary.
Would you take me to where you were born?
Certainly.
And throw you into the lava.
Oh, it's quite safe. All the platforms are shielded.
So, Doc and Ragesh looking in there, you see that mechanism being fought against. It's something that's hard coded, but it looks like the AI is attempting to resist as well. A hard computers check for me to help her break it.
Cool. Let's flip again, and yeah, skill assistance and all that good stuff. Yay!
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, what do you want the triumph to be?
I'm gonna say that with all the reasoning, the AI, yes, is fighting us, but is torn itself. So it's helping us to fight its inner demons, I guess.
Oh, the
Yeah.
AI was actually trying to fight that programming. We're helping her, actually.
Yeah. It's sort of like she's having to fight herself. It's very interesting what you're seeing in there. And with it accomplished, you've severed her access to the rest of the systems in the ship. The hostages she was basically keeping with that access to the spin of the drum is no longer there, and she's sort of at your mercy now.
Delete.
Purge.
No, Doc wouldn't do that.
I mean, I'm joking.
Okay, I'm making
I mean,
sure.
character-wise, like Ragesh would do that, and Bunker probably wouldn't let us either. So
I'm double checking. Yeah, just probably put her into a data pad and transfer her.
Okay.
you
Yeah.
now power Candy Crush.
So you see the lights as her programming is downloaded. The lights of the chamber begin to shut off one by one. And yeah, this is the end of that.
Can I also make sure before we leave that the rest of the systems are operating correctly? Make sure that didn't accidentally switch a self-destruct or not
Yeah,
that-
what you do note is that the systems as they are, you're surprised they haven't collapsed completely with how degraded they really are. Regardless of whether the negative things the administrator had done, the fact that she was able to keep the vessel in operation is fairly surprising. So these recyclers and everything that are still operating, you question how much longer they really can be operating.
Well, it looks like we're gonna have to do a whole rescue mission with the Eclipse and shuttle these people to that 3-hour planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you arrive back at the biocylinder. You're cheered and celebrated that the administrator has been destroyed. Um,
Yeah, we just let him think that.
um, and so you extend this offer to relocate them.
Yes.
Um, and they seem to be very happy about that as well.
Though at the
And they
same time, even though they think that the administrator was destroyed, I will say, because you should give credit where credit is due, that as bad as she was, you all would have perished without her.
you see some of them feel a little disgruntled about that comment, but they don't end up arguing with you.
So yeah, hopefully Jogan doesn't give us too much grief about that.
With it being a 3-hour trip going back and forth, we actually looked at this. The Eclipse has a huge amount of cargo space,
Oh,
actually.
so we could fit everybody in just one trip.
Not in one trip, probably, but because that would be a little too cramped, and you've got air recyclers of your own to worry about, right? But yeah, it would be. I mean, it would take less than a few days for this to happen, since you can get there so quickly.
Nice.
Just
Okay.
the difference in technology. There would be over 100 years left if this vessel was trying to go there.
Right.
Could Serenity and the medical staff attempt to either remove the implants?
Yes, I'll say that
as
you.
if they wanted them removed.
Yeah, they're interested in having them removed. Just so there's not the risk of someone else just trying to take control through that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, you're able to devise a fairly a surgery that would be easy to replicate, and that your medical droids can perform, and you start basically performing the surgery en masse to remove this this chip that was implanted into them.
Seeing as they don't actually have any governing structure, could Nahat kind of help try and structure something?
Yeah, sure. What are you interested in leaving them with?
That's interesting. I mean, if they're all
Brand new
farmers,
administrator droid.
a brand new administrator, right?
One that they can punch if they don't like it.
Yeah.
A form of communication.
Because none of them really have any experience with governing.
No, the people that are participated in the resistance sort of insist on being the ones in charge, though.
Well, I'm sure they do. Is there any way? I mean,
We can download and hand them not holocron, sorry, but holovids of representative democracy.
yeah, but of just representative democracy.
Yeah. No imperial dictatorship.
Yeah.
We heard this thing called the Empire was controlling most of the galaxy. Didn't someone mention that on the way over?
Oh, we're beating them. We're kicking their butts from here to the core. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
it's not even close.
They're on their last legs. The
So
mighty
you leave them
Mirialans have
with
defeated
a few
them.
propaganda videos
Right.
about Republican virtues, and you don't have much time with them on the board the ship, but you can stay with them for a little bit on the planet, certainly. Once you get there, and have to actually find a place for them to be.
I think Nahat would definitely try and stay and help guide them.
So will Serenity for medical aid, due to trying to acclimatise to this new world, and the transplantation of the crops.
Yes, yes, and that'll be another big issue is actually getting those aboard the Eclipse, transferring enough for them to actually have a food supply.
Ragesh will teach some of them the windmill, but in their spare time.
As they're adjusting to this world that seems to have earthquakes every so often. So,
Yeah, sorry. About
And can we leave them with a communication device in case they need any help?
what would be the communications device?
Some sort of transmitter,
Oh, what sort of capability would it have? Would it be able to only contact you, or would they be able to contact anyone nearby?
I would say the Eclipse and us.
yeah, just to be safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to leave them with that if they, over the course of the next week or so, as you're transplanting them, making sure everything's okay, you leave them with a way to say if there's any issues, you can of course summon your technological superiors.
Serenity would actually treat them as equals.
Your choice.
Ragesh would not.
I was going to say, why would you treat me?
A god among insects.
We're fairly advanced compared to them. No.
Yeah. And since all of them only worked as farmers, in terms of actual understanding of technology, it's fairly limited. But you're able to demonstrate, press this button, this thing happens, and you can talk to us. So it's going to take a while for them to build up the capability to use more advanced technology, although they are, of course, they've seen some of it at least. Okay. Anything else, guys?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I would just, give a little soapboxy speech about how they all need to work together now, so this plan doesn't end up like their last one, a nuclear wasteland.
That's true.
It's just what the administrator said it was.
Regardless, work together so your plan doesn't end up as a nuclear wasteland.
You get nods, a few cheers. Okay. So, base XP is 10. You get 3 for preventing the administrator from activating her last threat.
Woohoo.
What else would you guys like to nominate?
One for stopping the suit from Serenity's suit from expiring.
Yes.
Yeah, no one's suffocated. That's always good.
Yeah.
The probe and the information on the planet that they were traveling to.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll go +1 for the RP with Bunker.
I was
and the
just about to
administrator?
mention. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll do
+1 for just Doc's computers checks and just knocking those out of the park and getting the best results, pretty much.
Yeah, and I'll do another +1 for the breakdancing at the party for the yodeling. We can turn the yodeling back on.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it too well, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can turn it up a bit.
There we go.
There we
Yeah,
go.
maybe
That's
not.
the
Maybe
stuff.
not that loud. So this is what's happening as you guys leave.
Alien yodelers, I like it.
They'll be okay. They'll be okay.
Maybe +1 for not actually killing the administrator.
That's rolled into the +3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are we at?
18.
18. Anything else you guys would want to nominate?
Oh God, what was that?
Uh,
The astrogation checks for the where they were and where they started from and where they were heading.
I'll roll that into the info about the planet.
mm. Mm.
Maybe for making sure we had our earpieces to communicate with them.
I think I gave that to you guys.
I mean, it's not listed here as XP, but what about deciphering the note?
Yeah, sure. I'll roll that. Yeah, that'll be fine, and then I'll bank it at 19.
Oh, one last thing. Just Rogesh looking like this ethereally, beautiful alien
Yeah,
creature.
none of them are going to be able to compare to what the women have seen now. Like all the men feel inferior, and they're not adequate compared to this
No, maybe they're
this
inspired.
green god.
You know,
Yeah, you come back a few months later, everyone has tattoos like the face markings.
there you go.
And giant statues.
So I'll hold it at 19. We can roll that into the last one too.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Okay. So MERP nominations.
I would like to nominate Bunker.
Bunker.
I really like just the RP of having to pretty much talk his Bunker under the constraints of what Bunker can actually say, and I know that can be really tough. It's really easy for me to RP Ragesh sometimes because he pretty much says the things that I'd want to say, but I know that it can be a little bit more tricky when you have a character like Bunker who has
The
those
constraints are a
sorts
bit
of...
looser now. I don't know,
Yeah,
since recent developments, he probably before would never have really asked questions of people. So it's
Yeah.
interesting that he's doing that now.
that's a good point.
I
But
wonder
yeah.
why.
Overall, I just enjoyed that bit a lot, so that's my nomination.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other nominations out there? Okay, Bunker takes MERP in a sweep.
Congrats.
MVP.
I would like to nominate Doc. Just coming through really well at the end there with the computer's checks and making sure that this didn't turn into just a terrible tragedy.
I was kind of worried when people were saying they had no ranks in computers. I was like, might have been a big thing there. But yeah, that's good. Any other nominations for MVP?
I mean, Ragesh did a lot of probably the big roles and whatnot, but I'd still think Doc would be a good one too.
Okay, let's vote.
Yep, there he goes.
Okay, yeah, so Doc for MVP.
Congrats.
Okay. Thank you guys for joining me for Shadow of the Broker 124, The Dead Oasis. Well, let's go ahead and roll Lee's morality. Any conflict you think Lee took during that? I mean, you ended up helping people along the way, so...
No, I don't think it was. I don't think he did anything to any conflict unless.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no, do you have an automatic one that you take, or is that...
Yeah, he has that automatic one, so I
Okay.
mean, I'm not going to even roll for it because it would be double and it would go up, and he really didn't do anything.
Okay. That's fine with me. And then, unfortunately, that group obligation couldn't really relate to that here.
Right.
But otherwise, yeah, I think we're good to go.
All right, cool. Thanks for jamming. This was very
Yeah.
atmospheric, and I'm glad that we were able to solve this in the best way possible. I was scared that we would really have to purge her, but I'm glad that we didn't have to do that.
And now Bunker has a friend.
Yeah, and I
I wonder
it was showing her the other stars. I was going for, so that was
Right.
good.
And by the way, I love the little attention or the great attention to detail with just, making sure that we had to translate, making sure that there was actually air in the area so that sound waves could go through. Because even Star Wars sometimes forgets little things like that. So I'm glad that you added those in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
great pictures too.
Yeah, you may notice I didn't have very many, but I went for quality over quantity there. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this was definitely the big inspiration piece for
Yeah.
the idea here. I was just looking generation ships, and I found that, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Definitely. Everything from the pictures to the music, everything felt like it really belonged.
Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, well, keep watching Shadow of the Broker out there. So.
See you
Bye.
next time.